Hello everyone, welcome back. Quick little bit of info before we get into topic. I have redubbed this series and now it is called Biblical Studies. Previously it was called Biblical Trivia, but I feel like this will be a better name and now it just sounds more educational and professional. So with that being said, we're going to move on to our topic for today. And in continuing with my series of examining angelic host of heaven, we will be looking into Michael, the Archangel. So to fully understand his importance and his role in existence, we will be going through the Bible and reading through the passages he is mentioned in so we can learn more about him and what he does in God's kingdom. So, he's first mentioned in the book of Joshua, chapter 5, verses 13 to 15. And it says, "Now when Joshua was near Jericho, he looked up and saw a man standing in front of him with a drawn sword in hand. Joshua went up to him and asked, 'Are you for us or for our enemies?' 'Neither,' said the man, 'but as commander of the army of the Lord, I have now come.' Then Joshua fell face down to the ground in reverence and asked him, 'What message does my Lord have for his servant?' The commander of the Lord's army replied, 'Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy.' And Joshua did so." And for some context about this scenario and what's going on, Joshua was the leader of the Israelites, aka the Hebrew people, after Moses the prophet died. He was tasked with reclaiming the promised land of the Hebrew people, and right now during this book, he is fighting kings and other people/nations who are currently occupying the land. And in this part of the book, he needs to conquer a heavily fortified city known as Jericho. This is where we meet Michael. Though not mentioned by name, we know it's him because he is the only angel in the entire Bible who is the commander of God's heavenly army and, that combats the demons. And in this passage we just read, we learned that this guy is super powerful. I mean, he's in charge of God's army and he obviously holds great authority. And after this exchange with Joshua, we learn that Michael gives Joshua a message from God that will help him break down the walls of Jericho and take the city. And that is all we know of Michael, or all we learn of him when he's first introduced. He comes with a message from God and he commands God's army. He then disappears from the Bible until he's mentioned again in the book of Daniel. So this is his second appearance. In chapter 10, Daniel receives a vision and is freaking out because these visions aren't good. He's a prophet, by the way. And he's losing his strength, feeling weak, because he's super worried, and then an angel unnamed speaks with him and says this, "Daniel, you who are highly esteemed, carefully consider the words I am about to speak to you, and stand up, for I have now been sent to you." And when he said this to me, this is Daniel talking, "And when he said this to me, I stood up trembling," and he continued, "Do not be afraid, Daniel, since the first day that you set your mind to gain understanding and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard. I have come in response to them, but the prince of the Persian kingdoms resisted me 21 days. Then Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me because I was detained there with the king of Persia. Now I have come to explain to you what will happen to your people in the future, for the vision concerns a time yet to come." While he was saying this to me, I bowed my face toward the ground and was speechless. Then one who looked like a man, the angel still, touched my lips, and I opened my mouth and began to speak. I said to the one standing before me, "I am overcome with anguish because of the vision, my Lord. I feel very weak. How can I, your servant, talk with you, my Lord? My strength is gone, and I can hardly breathe." Again, the one who looked like a man touched me and gave me strength. "Do not be afraid, you who are highly esteemed," he said. Peace. Be strong now, be strong. When he spoke to me, I was strengthened and said, Speak, my Lord, since you have given me strength. So he said, Do you know why I have come to you? Soon I will return to fight against the prince of Persia, and when I go, the prince of Greece will come. But first I will tell you what is written in the book of truth. No one supports me against them except Michael, your prince. So, let me explain this passage because it can be a little bit confusing. An angel is talking with Daniel and tells him that he was resisted by the prince of the Persian kingdom and was detained with the king of Persia. So, let me explain this. No, it was not actually the human prince of Persia that stopped an angel from God, and the human king of Persia did not actually keep an angel from God detained. For you see, angels are above humans as of right now. They have more power, wisdom, and are spirits. So a human couldn't put on his singlet and wrestle an angel down and keep him detained. That just won't happen. The angel would most likely demolish any person. So when looking at the prince that managed to resist the angel for 21 days and the king that detained the angel, it was actually a demon. Let me explain. Satan in the Bible is known as the God, quote-unquote God of this world, after the fall of Adam and Eve, and is the big baddie influencing the large nations of the world. In the Bible, the big kingdoms like Egypt, Persia, Rome, Greece, etc. were all evil and sinful and ruled in false god worship and utter evil acts. And Satan was influencing each kingdom, both big and small. We know this because when Satan was tempting Jesus Christ in the wilderness, he showed and offered Jesus all the kingdoms of the world if he would worship him. So that solidifies why Satan has large authority in this world. And in this passage, the prince of the Persian kingdoms, or the prince of Persia, was a high-ranking demon. That is why he is able to handle an angel and resist him. And the king of the Persian kingdom that detained the angel was Satan himself, since he's the king, of all the, kingdoms of the world. And with this angel in trouble, obviously not able to fully overcome the demonic power, we see that Michael is truly a warrior angel and able to fight off the demonic force and help the angel who was being detained. In this, we also know that Michael is known as one of the chief princes of heaven and among the high-ranking angels, whose primary function is to battle against Satan's forces. He's obviously super powerful, above the average angel, because he just helped the other angel escape from the demonic powers that rule over the Persian kingdoms. The angel talking to Daniel tells him that after this little talk, he must go back to fight the demon known as the Prince of Persia with Michael, and then another demon known as the Prince of Greece, another high-ranking demon over the kingdom of Greece, will come and they will be all fighting. So it's interesting that the angel mentions that the only angel that supports him in this battle is Michael, who is super powerful, as we established, because maybe he's the only angel powerful enough to help. He's fighting off a demon of high rank who is called a prince, and another demon is coming, and it seems that Michael is taking them on while this other angel is talking to Daniel, giving him his message and whatnot. And another factor that shows that Michael is important is that he's referred to as Daniel's prince, but not just Daniel's, but the prince of Israel, basically. He's also the prince of Israel, which was God's chosen people. The entire Bible is about the Israelites, the Jewish people, the Hebrews. They're all, they have a lot of names, but these were God's chosen people, and Michael is the prince of them. He is the prince and protector of God's holy people, the Jewish people. And it's also a huge thing to know that his name means one who is like God. So we know he has high authority, possibly the highest in heaven. Because he is one of the two angels mentioned by name in the entire Bible the other being Gabriel, the messenger angel. This is also mentioned in Daniel 12:1. It says, "At that time Michael, the great prince who protects your people, will arise. There will be a time of distress, such as has not happened from the beginning of nations until then." This is a prophecy of the end times, but we see that Michael is the one who will protect the Jewish people and will stand against the demonic forces of Satan. So this is mainly where we get our most info from him, and we learn that, yeah, this angel, obviously, Michael's the guy God sends to get stuff done, the angel who is in constant battle mode, obviously, since he's basically fighting this war against Satan. And, after the book of Daniel, Michael isn't really mentioned until the book of Jude, the second to last book of the Bible. And it says in Jude 1, verse 9, "But even the Archangel Michael, when he was disputing with the devil about the body of Moses, did not himself dare to condemn him for slander, but said, 'The Lord rebuke you.'" This passage is fascinating and interesting, and the only time in the entire Bible this encounter between Satan and Michael over the body of the dead prophet Moses is mentioned. So let me explain. Satan wanted to use the corpse of Moses. He wanted to use the corpse of Moses as a symbol of idolatry, so the Israelites could worship it and be turned away from God, because at this time they were very vulnerable and easy to persuade into worshiping false gods. And he would have probably made the corpse move on its own, kind of like, "Hey, Moses is resurrected," and use it as a symbol of his power to humiliate Moses and God, who were against idolatry. But before he could do this, God sent Michael to stop him, of course. And we get from this verse that since Michael and Satan fight on a regular basis, obviously, and Satan kind of knows what buttons to push to vex or upset Michael, because Satan loves to use his words to rile people up and make them make dumb decisions. Michael, instead of trash talking Satan or just being all arrogant about his own power, like, "I've beaten you every time we fought, Satan, I'm better than you, haha," instead of doing that, Michael decided to be humble and just responds to Satan saying, "The Lord rebuke you." And that is the end, and the devil is defeated. Just after that, after he says, "The Lord rebuke you," he kind of just, slithered away like I do into my closet. I hide there. And I don't know. And basically, that's how Satan is defeated and, pushed away. And we get the impression of the humility, not the humiliation, but the humility of Michael, who still calls on the name of the Lord and acknowledges God as the true power that stops Satan, not himself. And we learn that not only is he an awesome warrior, but a humble angel of God too. So that's a huge character thing we get from that small little verse. And Michael isn't really mentioned again until the last book of the Bible. And the last book of the Bible, known as Revelation, it says in chapter 12, verses 7 through 9, and it says, "There was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, known as Satan, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him." And so with this, we know that it was obviously Michael who led the angels in the war of heaven and was the one who cast out the devil from heaven and all the demons. And that is the last time Michael is mentioned in the Bible. So we know that he's still around today fighting a war, because this is a spiritual war that's been going on since the beginning. He fights with Satan and his forces in a spiritual war over people's souls, kingdoms, and nations. He's the commander of God's army and one of the highest ranking angels in heaven. He is the prince of God's chosen people, the Jewish people. He is, his name literally means one who is like God. And assuming that God named all his angels, that's like a huge honor. We know that Michael is, his importance is large, and just to recap, this guy's like, Michael's kind of like the guy God sends to get stuff done, because obviously Michael, like, beats Satan, like, 1v1, always defeats him, and, Michael's just probably, the most important angel in the Bible, him and the messenger, angel Gabriel. We'll probably get to him next week. And yeah, that's simply Michael, the Archangel. He's the warrior of God, his importance is outstanding, and actually, and we know that he's powerful enough. He can, like, take Satan on and always beat him, because not only does he have God on his side, but, he's just a great warrior. He, obviously, yeah, if he's, like, running heaven's army, yeah, he's a great warrior. And that's really it, guys. We just went through every time he's mentioned in the entire Bible, and we got to really know what Michael is. He's the Archangel, and we got to really learn about him. And yeah, guys, that's about the end of this video. I hope it was informational and, very, I hope it educated you. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have any questions, further questions, feel free to comment down below. And yeah, just have a great day. God bless you all. I'll see you all next Sunday when we talk about the angel Gabriel. And I think that will be the end of this, angelic series, and we'll see where we go on from here. And yeah, guys, that's it. Thank you so much. God bless you, and stay safe, everyone.